Hi guys, my name is Nadia and I guess I'm back again. I haven't made a video again in more than a month, but I'm not even gonna try and excuse myself because there has really been nothing wrong. I just was in sort of filming slump, if that's even an expression now. So yeah, I'm not even gonna bother and say anything else. I will try to make one video each week from now on, and I hope it works out. So I generally haven't made a lot of videos in 2014, and I just realized I haven't made a wrap-up video since November, last year November. So I haven't made a wrap-up for 4 months, and you guys have no idea what I've been reading, because I have been reading. I was not in a reading slump, except for January. January was slow, but anyway. So I'm just gonna go through the books I've read in these months quickly in this video and just give you a few thoughts on them and tell you if I like them or not. In December last year I read 1984 by George Orwell. This is one of the first dystopian books ever and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and it was a really scary book because even though it's a dystopian, these things might actually happen. They're not so unrealistic, and it kind of scares you and it kind of opens your mind, and I absolutely loved it and I would recommend this to anyone. Then I read Death Designated Ugly Fat Friend by Cody Keplinger, which I borrowed from the library and I do not have anymore. I really liked that one too. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a story of this girl who hears from someone that she's the designated ugly fat friend. And my favorite thing about this book was the main character's character. I expected her to be all sad when she found out that people were calling her that, but she really dealt with it and she said, okay, you know what, if I'm the duff, I don't care, and I'm gonna keep on living and do whatever it is that I have been doing so far. So I really loved it and I can't wait to read more by Cody Keplinger. Then I jumped on the Bloodlines bandwagon by Rochelle Mead and I loved it. I think the whole series is better than the Vampire Academy series, even though it's a spin-off on that series. My favorite thing, of course, was Adrian. I loved him from the Vampire Academy. He was my favorite character. I really wanted Rose to be with Adrian, but she picked Dimitri, which she's fine as well, but Adrian, I love him. And the first book, I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It kind of had a slow start, and then I also read The Golden Lily and The Indigo Spell, and these books keep getting better and better. I want to read the 4th book too, but I think I'm gonna wait until the 5th one also comes out so I can read at least 2 at once, because if I read the 4th one now, I'll want the 5th one, and the 5th one doesn't come out for a few months, I assume. I haven't checked it yet, but I'm gonna wait for that. So then in December, I think, I also read Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by David Levithan and Rachel Cohn, and I bought this one because of the cover and because it was so Christmassy and I wanted to read it during the holiday season, but I didn't like it like almost at all. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, and the thing I hated about this book was the characters, pretty much. It's from a double point of view, so we get to know both the girl, both Lily and Dash, and I didn't like any of them. I felt like they were caricatures in some way. They were both so extreme. Lily is this girly girl, like everything is wonderful, it's Christmas, it's snowing, everything is nice, and Dash was the exact opposite. He didn't like the holidays, and you know, he was grumpy all the time, and somehow these two guys get attracted to each other, which I didn't even see a lot of in this book, and it felt forced. I mean, these two characters really didn't match with each other, and I really didn't like this book. It's a shame because the cover is so pretty, so I'm gonna keep it on my shelf, but I will never reread it again. The next thing I read was High Society by Ali Carter. I liked this book, but I didn't love it. I gave it 3 stars. It's about this girl, Katarina, who is from a family of criminals, and now she's taking on this job, and there's a love interest, and a group of teenagers who are trying to steal a painting from some museum. It was actually really interesting. I just didn't connect with the characters so much. It had potential, and I think I'm gonna read the sequel because I've seen that it has a better average rating on Goodreads, and people are saying that it's better than the first one, and I liked the first one. It's not that I didn't like it, I was just not amazed by it. And then I read Animal Farm by George Orwell, yes. I was still so excited from reading 1984, and I wanted to read something by George Orwell again immediately, and Animal Farm seemed like the best choice, and I like this one, but not nearly as much as 1984. It's about an animal farm, but this actually represents humans, and these animals start making a revolution, and they want to throw down the humans, and then they start fighting with each other. It's really a whole book to show how our society works, basically, and I did enjoy it, but as I said, not as much as 1984. So if you want to read something by George Orwell and you haven't read anything by him yet, definitely read 1984. The next thing I read was Flowers in the Attic by Virginia Andrews. I really like the cover again of this book. That's basically the reason why I bought it, and it's one of those banned books in the 1960s, I want to say 60s, but I'm not sure. It's supposed to be a scary book about this 4 siblings that are locked up in an attic, and they're not allowed to leave there ever. And I liked it in the beginning. I generally liked it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But it was not exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be really scary and really heartbreaking. I expected these kids to be tortured by their grandmother and their mother, which kind of happened, but not exactly how I expected it to. And then it took a turn to be more like a soap opera, which I found a bit funny, actually. I feel kind of bad saying this because I know this is based on the true story of the author, and yeah, but it felt a bit overdone to me. I still liked it though, but I don't think I'm gonna continue with the series. One book was enough for me. The next book I read, or rather listened to, was Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins. I like this one. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's this magical boarding school. Kind of reminded me a bit of the Vampire Academy, but there's not only vampires in this school, there's witches and shapeshifters and warlocks and fairies and everything. It was fun in that way, and I really liked the protagonist's character, but the story wasn't like something super exciting for me. I'm now listening to the second book actually, which is going really slow. I like the turn of the events. There's kind of a plot twist at the end of the first book, and I like where it's going in the second book, but since it's an audiobook, I'm really only listening to it not very often. I usually work on my Read This journal and listen to this book, but I haven't done a lot of that lately. I want to start maybe this week, continue with it a bit, but we'll see how it goes. Then I read Incarnate by Jodie Meadows, and I have a full review of this. The link is in the description box. I really loved this book. If you have seen my review, you will know all about it, and if you haven't, then go check it out. I'm not gonna say anything more about this book here. Then the next book I read was the sequel to Angel Fall, World After by Susan E., and I loved this one too. I gave it 5 stars, and Angel Fall is now one of my, no, I think it's called Penryn and the End of Days. Yeah, it's now one of my favorite series. I really want to see what happens next, and this is a series about an angel apocalypse. It's really gory, it has a lot of blood, a lot of teeth, I want to say teeth, but I really love it. I love the romance. It's very action-packed. Things keep happening every second of this book, and I couldn't put it down. I loved it. I'm waiting for the sequel. The next book I read was one I didn't enjoy that much again. It was Carrie by Stephen King. I actually bought this one in the airport because I had nothing to read with me, and it was the only one that I found there, basically. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I don't know why this book is so hyped. I'm guessing because it's Stephen King's first book, but I didn't see anything in it. It was supposed to be scary, and it wasn't. The only thing I liked was the relationship between Carrie and her mother. It was really twisted. Her mother is really crazy, really religious, insane person, and Carrie has this telekinesis, but there's no the whole book leads up to this one scene, and then this scene is described by characters that I don't even care about, and I don't get it about this book, and I don't think I'm even gonna try and read anything by Stephen King again. Yeah, maybe it's just not for me. And the book that I read after that was The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. This is a really big book, I would say, but I really loved it. I didn't expect to like it so much. It's been very hyped on BookTube as well, but I don't know, I just thought that the story wouldn't interest me, but I was wrong. It was really great. It's about a boy from Afghanistan who has to leave there and go to America with his father when he's young, but he has this sort of secret and it's burdening him throughout his whole life. It's really emotional. I really recommend it to everyone. I'm not giving a very good explanation of why I liked it, but it's kind of hard to explain. I just really loved it and you have to read it. And then in March I also read P.S. I Love You by Cecilia Ahern. I had started this book sometime in the past, but I hadn't finished it for some reason, but I really liked it now. I expected it to be very romancy and very stereotypical, but the thing I liked most about it was the ending, because it was so different than what I expected, and I really appreciated this. And yeah, it's a very good adult romance book. If you're looking for something like that, I really recommend it. And then last but not least, in March I read Harry Potter book 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I really enjoyed rereading those. Harry Potter is my favorite series of all time, if you didn't know already. I really wanted to read more than 4 books, but it didn't turn out that well. But maybe I will read the rest of the books in summer. So yeah, that's what I've been up to this month, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna be back with another video soon, and yeah, I hope to see you all next time. Bye!